shuffle up the buffalo. Oh, buffaloes never die, never die, never die. Oh, buffaloes never die, they simply fade away. How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? How do you do? How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? How do you do? It's the same old street refrain as the buffaloes won the game. How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? They all play a jolly good game of bally-boo. They all play a jolly good game of bally-boo. They all play a jolly good game, but buffaloes beat them all the same. Inky-pinky bally-boo. How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? How do you do? How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? How do you do? It's the same old street refrain that the buffaloes won the game. How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? Oh, buffaloes never die, never die, never die. Oh, buffaloes never die, they simply fade away. They simply fade away. They simply fade away.
From the day your brother Pie was our first introduction, we were strangers to the game we love. We are strangers no more. It's more than a game. Hey, it's our religion now, and it's in our blood, it's in our veins, it's everywhere. Ilawa, 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 ilawa. Michigawa na garagaling arami.
umpiring down.
All right, hello and welcome to the round 15 of the TIO NTFL 2023-2024 season game between Tiwi Bombers and Darwin Buffaloes. I'm here with Ian Buttersworth. How are you today?
Look, I'm well and looking forward to the game in the wet no less. And one of the ins for the Tiwi Bombers, Shannon Rioli, playing his first Premier League game for the season. Of course, a legendary player in the NTFL. I reckon he's played 9 premierships, 9 winning grand finals for St Mary's and over 200 games, and moved across to the Bombers last season, but has been injured. And you checked it out, and he's played a few seconds games or reserve grade games, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Div 1, is it?
Yeah, he's been playing a couple of Div 1 games for Tracy Village, with that connection between Tiwi Bombers and Tracy Village going strong between the two clubs at the moment. So it's good to see him back out there in the Premier League, and I'm sure he'll just lift with that experience and leadership out there today. So should be a good game. We've got puddles all over the ground, and the rain seems to have lightened off a little bit at the moment, but it's been pouring all morning.
all week, all month pretty much, yeah. So we've got in the ruck, it'll be Carlson Cantilla, number 17 on your left, and his direct opponent will be Daniel Fitzgerald, and they will, I reckon, that pair will probably do the majority of ruck work. Can't see too many chop outs coming for those two men. Cantilla, of course, will lack a little bit of height, but certainly a young man with a leap. And there they go, and he's leaped, but it was Fitzgerald who won the tap. Darwin Buffaloes won the toss, and they decided to kick to the Michael Long Learning Centre end. And the first direct kick will go to Antonio James for Darwin Buffaloes. Buffaloes kick forward, centre half forward, ball on the ground, in dispute. Eldridge after the football, gets it out nicely by hand. And the kick on goal, the first goal, inside 1 minute, if you don't mind, 24 seconds, and that was Lachlan Hill.
Yeah, what a great snap around the corner, and a really crucial game for the Buffaloes today. And coming off a nice, healthy win against Palmerston last week, they have started off where they finished that game.
And in fact, the Buffaloes give themselves a chance. They're 2 games and a fair bit of percentage behind Pint in 6th place, but they give themselves a chance of still playing finals. Plenty of rounds to go. The equation is simple. They've just got to win.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like they're on today to start off with. So, and that ruck battle, I think, will be crucial as well. So ground ball gets will be hard to come by with all the rain and the wetness.
Fitzgerald once again wins the tap. Carlson Cantilla jumping early. Buffaloes with the ascendancy in the middle, but it's the all-important clearance. There they go. Nick Yarron gets the ball out, goes forward. That was the goal kicker there. Lachlan Hill tried to kick the ball off the ground. Defensively, the Bombers, are they up to it? And Brock Orville takes the mark just backward of the centre. Orville goes out wide. Player out there, Henry Kiranua. Kiranua sells the dummy, goes on the right foot. Kicks it out wide, slightly favouring their forward line. Handball over the top. Ball terribly hard to handle, Samantha, and it'll be that like that, I'm sure, for the majority of the game. A couple of possessions there nicely to Thaddeus Portjimmy. Portjimmy, nice kick forward. Inside forward 50. Normally you would back this in for certainly a score, but it's no guarantee. Kim Cantilla, as experienced and as good as he is, right of centre, fairly acute angle for the right footer, but gee, it's a long way with a heavy football. Not quite as heavy as it will be, but that's going to be a tough kick.
Yeah, he did a beautiful mark there, so he deserves a nice long shot on goal here. And as he's just coming in, he's taking his time, and it looks looking good.
Beautiful.
It's right on the line.
But it was right on the line. It was tubbed through, but the kick off the ground, and he's claiming the goal.
Looks like it.
It'll go to Cantilla. I reckon it was just over the line, so we'll give that to Cantilla, the goal.
What a beautiful kick just then. He's just steered it home beautifully off that boot. So 1 goal apiece inside the first 3 minutes of this round 15 game between Tiwi Bombers and Darwin Buffaloes.
Back in the middle, Carlson Cantilla. His direct opponent. Daniel Fitzgerald. We've only had 2 taps and Fitzgerald won them both. And we've had a clearance each and a goal each. Cantilla probably won that ball on the ground. In dispute, Jared Stokes, a noted mud runner. Nick Yarran, another mud runner. But Yarran can play in anything. Defensively, the Bombers got plenty of work to do. High tackle in there, play on called the umpire. Probably correct decision. There's another high tackle. And this time the umpire's seen it and will pay the free kick. The free kick goes to Brock Orville. He's had a couple of touches early. In dispute on the boundary line. Threw the ball away. But just behind play, just off play, and the Bombers have given away a free kick, and Stewart takes the ball forward. Gets to Joey Collinson, the left footer. Collinson kicks inside forward 50, over the back, can't take the mark, ball on the ground. Some handball, there'll be plenty of handballs. Collinson once again. The Bombers have to get the clearance. It was courageous, so courageous to smother the kick off the boot, and it's out of bounds. And the Buffaloes have the ball probably 1 millimetre inside their forward 50.
We'll call it inside 50. The boundary umpire's thrown it in from in there. And I think you just mentioned there's been a few handballs, and I think both teams are going to have to adapt to this, that they might not work and these heavy legs will fatigue them throughout the game.
Now, the Buffaloes.
What a pick-up.
Lose the foot. It was, wasn't it? But the clearance defensively, Orville's in everything so far for the Tiwi Bombers down back. Just a mad scramble at the moment. Didn't throw it away. Tackled. No prior opportunity. Flicked out the back. The ball picked up. Buffaloes go forward. Baxter Mensch. Not inside forward 50. And defensively, once again, the Bombers have been up to it. So we expect both defences are going to have to work overtime.
Yeah, I think they're all throwing their body at the ball at the moment and just really trying to push it forward in this wet weather. But as it's pulled out of the ruck and it's just sent inside forward 50 for the Buffs, and just a drop mark there by Daniel Potts, that is, and it's just in dispute inside 50. But Buffs come out the back with it. A quick handball off to Jared Stokes, and he's had his kick smothered, and they've picked it up again, and it's gone inside. Can they take a mark here? 2 Tiwi players go up, fighting each other for it, and the goal kicker Lachlan Hill picks it up but doesn't quite bounce to the line, and it's stopped dead about 5 metres off the line. And a sweeping handball, but it's a 2-on-1 for Buff, so you'd think that they'd work this one out, but Tiwi have come out with it, and Orville's in there again at the bottom of that pack, and he's still fighting for his team, and he's got a handball out, but Buffs are set up nicely behind the ball, and Mensch with a lovely centering kick, but Tiwi off the back there, and they've switched it out to the fat side to buy him some time and some space. And it's Brad Stokes versus one of the Tiwi players, but a free kick's been found here, and that'll go the way of the Buffaloes captain. Oh, nope, it looks like Darcy Sketcher. Nope. Charles Sharple. So he was number 1 in ground ball gets for their game last week. So looks like he'll have a shot on goal here.
Charlie Staples it is. Just right of centre, within kicking distance. Man on the mark, 35 metres from goal. So it'll take a bit. It will take a bit. Pretty much directly in front. Sharples kicks on goal and misses everything. So the ball out of bounds on the full to be brought back by the Bomber defence.
I think the goal umpires here just directing them to go and get the footy that was just kicked instead of taking the quick easy option.
Unless you have a score, you can't use the spare ball.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes, and that's correct. Jennifer Winsome-Rowe, the goal umpire, did it very, very well. She knows the laws of the game.
She does. He's having to go right up the stairs, around the back.
Well, that's right.
In front of the pool to get it. So
you can't take the easy option unless there is a score. Which kind of makes sense, I suppose. If you want to quick play the ball, normally if there's a score, to have a quick play the ball, particularly if it's a behind. So the Tiwi Bombers to bring the ball back. Bit undignified having to go and fetch your own football, isn't it?
Usually you'd find a few spectators hanging out there ready to chuck it back for you, but
away they go onto the left foot, kicks outside defensive 50, favouring the scoreboard side here at Marara Oval, bending down, picking it up. kicking further forward. And again, a mad scramble and a terrific mark there. Buffaloes have the football.
So as they've kicked it, it's just snuck inside their forward 50, and some great work by Jared Stokes on the deck, and he's following up his work. It's come out to Sharples with the hands out the back. They've linked up beautifully in this wet, and the kick's gone up and under. I don't think it's gone 15 yet. The umpire's called play on, and as that contest is just making it sit there, but Tiwi have got it, and he just got it on his boot there.
Didn't he?
That was impressive. And the umpires again called a play on call when Buffs just sat under it there waiting for it, and they will have a ball up just outside Buffalo's forward 50.
Can't pick up Shannon Rioli. I don't know whether he's on the field or not playing up forward because the ball hasn't been up there much, but we'll catch up and see where he's going. First game, as we mentioned, with the Premier League side this season, been playing a little bit of Div 1 for Tracy Village, which is the NTFL team for the Tiwi Bombers. Picked up Nick Yaron once again. He's been busy. Gets it out to his skipper. Dragged off the football. Threw his head back looking for a high tackle decision, but the umpires are on top of that. Buffaloes get it onto the left boot. Kicked to centre half back, and a defensive mark taken. Goals are going to be like gold today, I reckon, Samantha. Kicked outside defensive 50. Nice mark taken there. Easy mark, Kurt Dunn. Dunn goes short. Not the right option. Get it and clear it. Nick Yaron once again. And I mentioned a bit earlier, noted mud runner. There's the Lachlan Hill, the goal kicker. He's got a goal. And Kim Cantilla has a goal for the Tiwi Bombers. So it's 1-1. One goal each. And defensively, once again, working very, very hard. Darcy Lang, Bombers, outside defensive 50. It's a chance for now for Darwin. Over the back, marks are going to be difficult to take. Flicked out by hand. Again, flicked out by hand. Again, Darcy Lang, busy down back, and a good mark taken. Jerome Tipiamanda-Miri. He goes forward in the centre square, in the corridor. Nice pick up off the ground in the wet. Flips it out by hand. Tiwi Bombers on the move. Forward they go. It's 1-on-1, and the players there, Bradley Stokes.
So Tipalora kept that in nicely, and the Buffs have been smart enough just to knock it over the line, and looks like he's hurt himself off the back of that contest. But nevertheless, it's kicked back in by Buffs, and they've gone on the far side wing, and it's just dropped short, but he's got 3 Tiwi players around him, so you'd hope that they'd work this one out, and they seem to have. They've got a bit of space, and they're looking to come inboard. A nice short kick to Carlson Cantillo, who's just marked, and he's played on to his teammate in Lang, who's not kicked, didn't quite come nicely off the boot, so Buffs have turned it over in their half back, and a great strong tackle and follow up by Lang on Antonio James, but Buffs have got their swift hands moving, but intercepted right in the middle of the oval, and Tiwi have got their run on. It's come out to Jordan, who's looking to go inside to a teammate who uses his body beautifully, and that's Antonio James. Stanley Tipalora again. He's up and about, and he's had a quick shot on goal, and it's just bounced just across through the left-hand side point post, so it's going to be a 1 behind, and Buffs will have a kick out here.
Bradley Stokes, the designated kicker, if you like, will run his full measure. Normally crosses the line unless he's got something short. He does have something short. Dropped the mark. Bad drop. Kyle McBean recovers outside their defensive 50, into the middle, in the corridor. High tackle in there. Play on called the umpire. Ball on the ground in dispute. It's the courageous ones that'll win this. Buffaloes dispossessed. Again, the defence of Buffaloes working overtime. Kicked off the ground. Xavier Grant, work to do. Eldridge gets it out. Up to the wing, favouring the grandstand side. Oh, they tackled him and they pushed him. They really rode him into the ground. Right on, cowboy. and the free kick won by Nick Yaron, who's just in everything. Yaron, what's he got? Sells the dummy. Runs around the man on the mark. Hasn't got much of a left foot. Tries to kick on the right foot, but I reckon that's out of bounds on the full. The boundary umpire agrees with me.
He does.
And the Bombers will defend.
So they've just brought it in. They're both teams are looking short here, and I'm not sure if that's the right game style for today, because it's getting a lot of turnovers, and Buffs just on cue. Baxter Mensch took a beautiful mark and turned it over, but a quick snap around the body, and it's a 3-on-1 here, so with Buffaloes in favour just inside their forward 50, and a kick off the deck. And a strong tackle by Tiwi, and the umpire's called play on, and he's just holding it in, just hoping for some more support to come in as well. So we'll get a ball up inside Buffs forward 50, and I think they've had a lot of this play here, and to be only 2 points down, and they've had a lot of this ball. It's a tight game, but Mensch just bangs it on the left inside 50 at the top of the square, but out there it's a 1-on-1. It looks like Lang versus McBean, and Lang just toe pokes it and heads to the line, and he's got a deliberate call against him.
Yeah.
I think that's probably pretty fair.
Yeah, I think so too. So Buffaloes have the football outside their forward 50. Kicked it inside. Mark taken. The busy Jared Stokes. We can see that he's just crossed the paint of 50 there, so he's well inside forward 50, but a fairly acute angle for the right footer. Man on the mark, 35? Perhaps a bit more, about 38 metres from goal, so it's going to take a good one. Stokes with the heavy football, right of centre, kicks on goal, distance, and being rushed behind. So the Buffaloes are on both sides of the board, and the Tiwi Bombers 1-2-8, leading the Buffaloes 1-1-7, and we're just 14 and a half minutes into Q1. Bombers, clear defensive 50. Pretty good mark. No, it wasn't paid. Fair enough. Ball over the top. Mensch has been really busy onto the left foot. He is a natural left footer. Ball on the ground in dispute. We're going to be having a lot of that ball on the ground in dispute. Not too many clear passages with Darwin Buffaloes in their scoring zone. Dangerous in there. Threw the ball out. Sold the dummy. Lang kicks across his body. Clears defensive 50. Outside they go. Nathan Stewart gets it and gets it to Jared Stokes. Stokes sees the mark. Coco Nicky. Nicky bumped off the football. Good enough to recover. 2-on-1. And the 2 for the Tiwi Bombers win. He chased him down. Good effort there. But the Bombers have possession. Away they go. Favour the corridor. Straight down the middle. Mark not taken. Bradley Stokes over the back. Might have been high for first tackle. It was, according to the umpire. And now it's the Bombers in with a chance. Outside their forward 50. Kick in. A quick kick forward. Terrible kick forward. And Buffaloes in defence take the mark.
Yeah, that's disappointing, as they've come out of their half back and just managed to break that zone from Buffs. They get on top and on board, but that didn't work out for them. So Buffs have got it on the far side wing. Very smart, tapping the ball on the ground today is Buffaloes, and a short kick out to Chris Williams, and it's just rolled over the boundary line for a throw-in, and we're not really in anyone's territory at the moment, so we're just buying our time here. But Tiwi have got numbers. Buffs are coming in. Fitzgerald just off the back there, ready to take this tap against one of the Cantilla boys.
Carlson, I think it is. It'll be Carlson Cantilla.
So as the ball comes in, Cantilla just gets straight over the top, but it's banged on the boot, and there's a 2-on-1 and a great mark. Looks like Mensch out there on the far side, and he's going to look to switch it, so he's come inboard. Sorry, that's 2 Mensch. They've done the full switch, and they've got space out on this far side, and Collinson's got it. He's calling a teammate closer, but he's gone long straight over the top, but lovely spoil by Nigel Simpson there, but turned over, and a mark inside to Mick Bean, who's played on. Probably not, he didn't really realise who was around him, but a short kick is spoiled by Tiwi Bombers, and they've just been beautiful pressure there, and a long bomb outside their 50. But again, Buffalo's set up numbers here for Tiwi, and a kick off the deck, which is, I haven't seen many today, which is probably what's expected. But Thompson goes in there with a big fly and a push in the back, and hanging on, Angus Murray will receive that free kick. So they're flooding all the way back now, but looking for a target. There's a few open boys calling for it. Brendan Cantilla saying, kick it to me, long inside 50, I've got you. And he goes long down inboard there, but the Tiwi Bombers there, Darwin Buffs are both there, and they're in dispute, but Buffaloes have got it out, and Lang set up beautifully there. He goes for the short kick, didn't quite come off the boot, and we're back in dispute. The strength from the Buffs boys, just pushing the Tiwi boys off the ball. But as it's come out, it's still one-on-ones all over the ground, and Buffs pursuing this ball. Can't quite see who it is, but he's got it about 50 metres up the far side wing into their forward 50, but can't take clean possession. And Tiwi here with some handballs that aren't quite coming off, but picked up, and a strong tackle in there, and ball's out the back, and Stokes looking for a pick-up, uses his strong body, goes short. It's not quite 15, and Orville with a roving beautiful pick-up for the big fella. It's just, ball's just knocked out. We're going back and forward here with all our one-on-ones, and come out to Nick Yarran. He has a shot on goal. It's gonna bounce and hit the post as it's hit a nice big puddle there. So another behind added to our Buffs total score here. And Tiwi just a quick kick out to find a target and slow things down. So Murray out there about just getting it out of their backs 50 now.
1-2 apiece it is, coming into time on, about another minute before we get time on in at the end of the first quarter. Again, Buffaloes inside their forward 50. Pick up, kick on goal. Which way will it bounce? It's going to bounce slightly to the left, but what it's done is put Buffaloes in front for the first time in the game. Buffaloes 139, Tiwi Bombers 128. Bombers with the clearance over the back. This man has played a terrific game, John Tipalura. Tipalura in defence for the Tiwi Bombers. Hung on to. He's got to get back behind the mark. Surely that's not an advantage. It was a free kick. But nonetheless, it's forward, Michael Thompson. Thompson back in the middle. Jerome Tipuamandamiri lost possession. Handball. Another one. The goal kicker. Mensch, gee whiz, he's been terrific, hasn't he? Baxter Mensch. Mensch once again, the former Palmerston Magpie. Left foot, inside forward 50. Nick Yarran lurking, waiting outside. Jared Stokes, he's had a mountain of possession as well. And John Tipalura again gets the clearance into the middle of the ground, over the back, no mark taken, ball on the ground. Buffaloes, again, they've just gone forward, but just can't get the reward now. Baxter Mensch picks it up, goes onto the left foot, the preferred left foot, goes forward, 2-on-1. Might have been a marking interference, play on called the umpire, and the Tiwi Bombers get the clearance. Does it go outside defensive 50? No, picked up Buffaloes. Gee whiz, it was a bit hot, that handball. But the Tiwi Bombers, once again, Darcy Lang, who's been in everything down in defence for the Bombers. Not sure how you can get the clearance. Well, you can't get the clearance because there's no free kicks in there, so the umpire's just got to let it go. Looking hard for a free kick, and the free kick will go defensively to the Tiwi Bombers.
Yeah, and they're just absolutely killing it down there. Tipalora and Lang, they are holding it together, and Darcy Lang looks like he's a bit spent already, but as Tiwi bring it out to the far side wing, you've got a beautiful pick-up and a pursue and a great tackle by the Buffaloes. Not rewarded, but still out there, it's still going. There's boys flying everywhere. Picked up by Eldridge and a quick kick around the body, and it goes out on the full. So Tiwi will get the reset on their far side wing, as there's a lot of boys walking through the middle of this ground at the moment, and they've played a lot of corridor footy too so far today, so I'm sure they'll be ready for this quarter time break now that we're into overtime. So as the ball's kicked in, it's a high up and under kick. There's 5 sitting under it. Nobody takes that mark, or it just bounces over the back of them. Out there, we've got Muntameri picking it up, but he's kicked in board, and Buffs straight on it. Seaton Kernoth with a handball out and a quick kick, and a lovely chest mark to settle things down by Sharples.
Charlie Sharples has it. It's the football. Defensively, clears his defensive 50. Xavier Grant picks up a teammate forward. Buffalo slowing it down. Inside they go. Chris Williams, handball into the corridor. You mentioned they're playing corridor football. Here's another example of that. Forward they go. Strong mark by Jared Stokes. Forward of the centre square. Stokes goes out wide, dropped the mark. Probably should have taken that. And the ball, as the siren goes, Darwin Buffaloes in front. They lead 1-3-9. Tiwi Bombers 1-2-8. Goal scorers for the Buffaloes. Lachlan Hill has 1. and Kim Cantilla has one. Easy for the goal kickers, 1 goal apiece.
Sure is, and that takes us to the quarter time break, so we'll be back with you very shortly.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
All right, welcome back to this round 15 clash between the Tiwi Bombers and the Darwin Buffaloes for our TIO NTFL 2023-2024 Men's Premier League season. A wet and sloppy start with Darwin Buffaloes just 1 point ahead, 1 goal 3 to Tiwi Bombers, 1 goal 2-8. So we're about to kick off the second quarter here.
Carlson Cantilla once again will stretch, and he'll have to stretch a little bit because his direct opponent will be Daniel Fitzgerald once again, but Cantilla just leaping a little bit early in the ruck, and whereas Fitzgerald is just maintaining his poise, winning the tap. The clearance, as usual, will be the most important thing. Doesn't matter who wins the tap, pretty much, unless it's direct to a teammate. Here we go. Ball tossed up by the field umpire. Up they go. Fitzgerald over the back, kicked off the ground toward the Bombers. Once again it's sent back. Nicky Aaron gets the footy, kicks forward, been prolific, and didn't take the mark. Ball on the ground, in dispute. Big Daniel Stafford. The Tiwi Bombers have got some work to do defensively, and yes, the Buffaloes want the free kick. They'll get the free kick, and it'll be. Looks like it might be Joey Collinson with a bit of a limp. He's earned that free kick. So it'll be Collinson directly in front. Man on the mark, 30 metres from goal, so he's going to have to clear 35. A noted goal kicker over a long, long period of time, Joey Collinson. He'll go on the left foot, which is his kicking boot. Oh, it's a shocker. Absolute painter and docker. But it bounced before it went out of bounds. That's the commentator's curse.
That sure is. If he's a prolific goal kicker, it's definitely going to go either out on the full or for a throw-in every time. So we'll get a ball in deep inside Buff's 50 and the two rucks go at it. Fitzgerald gets off the back of that, but Tupolora in at the bottom there with a quick hands out, but Yaron ready for that handball off the back. Eldridge in and under, just trying to force a ball up here with so many Tiwi swarming on. But it's come out and they've picked it up, and we'll get that ball up at the top of the 50 in the classic turnover zone for every game of footy ever played. Most balls here turnover. 80% of footies in this zone turnover. So the ball goes up, but Fitzgerald nicely under it, but read well by Tiwi and picked up by Cantilla with his quick hands, and they're out the back. They've got if he can just pick it up, but he can't pick it up cleanly, and Buffaloes have managed to get a few numbers in, but it's in and under, and a quick handball comes out to Hill, who puts it on the boot looking for a teammate who's sitting under it, but a great spoil there. Orville just trying to use his body nicely, but he gets in, gets a nice bump on the side, and Yaron with a swift pickup. He's got space, he's got teammates, and Mensch releases Stokes, who's going to have a long shot on goal because there's no one guarding the square, and it goes straight through. A beautiful kick and great hands, and a passage of play there by the Darwin Buffaloes between Mensch and Stokes. And Buffaloes kick their second goal for the game today.
Some good work by Coco Nicky there on the forward line. Didn't give up. It was a 2-on-1. He was the one, but worked hard, kept it. And Buffaloes kept the ball inside their forward line. And a terrific combination between Mensch and Stokes, as you mentioned. Mensch mentioned. And a wonderful goal, long shot for goal.
Yes, and Baxter Mensch having an absolute ripper season here with 40 plus disposals most weeks, and really lifting this Buff side and keeping them right in the action every game.
Fitzgerald will square off against Carlson Cantilla. There are 3 Cantillas playing, so we'll call them by their both, but it was Cantilla that time that won the tap. Are they going to get the clearance? Fitzgerald, terrific effort there. Cantilla, his second effort was very good too. So the ruckmen are working overtime. Oh, trapped off the footy and taken high. That was pretty obvious. And it's one of the it's Jared Stokes. A couple of Stokes playing. Bradley Stokes down back. That's Jared Stokes. Running forward, inside forward 50. Lovely pass and in front. That's where you've got to be. And I reckon that's big Daniel Stafford.
Yeah, just a great wet weather mark overhead. Just tapped it. Took the speed off the ball in the back there, just tapped it down to himself, held that front position, and he'll reward himself with a shot on goal.
Getting pretty hard to see outside of our window here, which is fogging up, but Stafford directly in front. Distance really shouldn't be an issue for big Daniel Stafford. He can kick the ball the proverbial country mile. He's going to have to clear about 40 metres as he just crosses the paint of 50 now. Runs, steadies, kicks on goal and kicks truly. So the Buffaloes have got the perfect start in the second term. They move on to 3-3-21. Tiwi Bombers stuck on 1-2-8, but we're only just about 5 minutes into Q2.
Yeah, and the Buffaloes just using their strength through here, and they're not mucking around with it with the short handballs. As soon as they've got a chance to get a nice clear kick in this first 5 minutes or so of this quarter, they've used it, and they've positioned themselves beautifully in their forward line, playing in front to really move that ball deep inside. So we'll head back to the middle at the moment, but this is a crucial game for both teams coming into the pointy end of the season, with either team winning or losing today, putting them in or out finals basically. So if we go, we're back up, and Fitzgerald with a great punch out the centre bounce then, or ball up I should say. We're not bouncing in this weather, but Buffs with the nice long handball out wide, and he's gone long deep inside their 50, and Stafford nicely read, and he was right in position there, and he'll play on here for a right foot around the corner, and he's kicked it straight through. So 2 quick goals for Buffaloes gives them a nice lead into this start of this second quarter.
It's a good buffer, isn't it, with Stokes getting the clearance and Nick Yarron getting it out to Stokes. Stokes getting it forward. Stafford got the ball, and 2 on the trot, 2 within a minute, and Buffaloes 4-3-27. Tiwi Bombers 1-2-8. How easy is this game in the wet? Oh,
Buffaloes are making it look easy this quarter. It was bodies everywhere last quarter, but they're really finding some space around and playing some smart wet weather footy.
Orville, number 7 there with his back to us for the Tiwi Bombers. They've moved him into the middle. He was down back early where he just stopped everything, so they were trying to get some movement. Fitzgerald won the tap once again. Just got the height advantage on Cantilla. Buffaloes get the all-important clearance inside forward 50. 2-on-1. Nicky pushes his opponent perhaps into the football. Cleared that time by Stanley Tipalura. Tipalura only as far as the Buffaloes in the middle, in the corridor, still playing corridor football. Big Daniel Stafford sells the dummy, goes one way, then the other. The clearance will be to the Tiwi Bombers, favouring the outer side of the ground, not the corridor. And Bradley Stokes wanders up from down back, takes the mark, casually kicks forward. Got a couple, 1, 2, Mensch onto the left foot. Kicks on goal, and I reckon Mensch, no, it just stops short. Goal umpire gives it away, it moves back. Wonderful kick. Brendan Cantilla, inside defensive 50. Cantilla goes to a teammate, Henry Kerenua. Kerenua by hand onto the left foot. Ooh, which way are we going to go with that one?
That looked out to me, and I think Buffaloes thought it was as well.
Rhett Jordan has it. It wasn't out of bounds according to the boundary umpire, and he or she is the one that counts. Forward they go. Carlson Cantilla. Nice kick forward. Picked up again the Bombers, and defensively the Buffaloes are just too strong, and it's a nice mark between fullback and centre half-back.
Yeah, so Lang just pushed up there and lowered his eyes looking for a teammate, but it was a great juggling mark by Buffs, and they're looking to do this nice slow play that they did at the end of the first quarter. That just seems to be working for them, and it's come into the middle of the ground to Sharples, and he'll look out wide again. He's got a runner on the wing who'll play on and look for a teammate inside 50, right in the pocket though, but he finds him, and it looks like Jared Stokes there, so I'd imagine he might look for a teammate, as he does. He plays on quick, so he's looking for a snap on the right. It's not going to make the distance, but he's got 2 teammates there, and Tiwi first hands to the footy, and Buff's just keeping it in, but a tangle of legs and arms here, and we'll get a ball up inside Buffalo's forward 50.
Stafford's proving a bit of a problem down there, isn't he? He's just too big and too strong for any of his opponents. But that's not his fault.
It's his strength down there.
Ball to be tossed in by the boundary umpire, 30 metres around from the Buffalo goal. Grandstand side. Buffalo's kicking to the airport end in the second term. Pushed him dead set, and he might have a bit of a whinge about that, but goodness, it couldn't have been any clearer in the back. Carlson Cantilla played in front, got the free kick, goes forward. Michael Thompson been into the blonde bottle. Thompson goes forward. The Buffaloes too strong once again in defence. Front on head high tackle. Yeah, good free kick by the field umpire. If you're courageous enough to bend forward, and he was, and that is a good Jackson Clark. Courageous free kick. Clark goes forward. Kicks to a pack. Ball on the ground. Inside forward 50. Nice pick up there that time by Michael Thompson. Dropped it red hot, I reckon. Took him on. And Michael Thompson takes the free kick. And he's at left half back, grandstand side, just outside his defensive 50. Goes short. Not sure that the short kicks are the right option here because it's a bit wet and the skills can come undone. But defensively, once again, working overtime. Tiwi Bombers have the football. Daniel Potts goes across the face of goal. Just kicked it, picked it out, picked up Stokes. Stokes kicks on goal. I reckon he's got his third or his second. Jared Stokes, you are on fire. Darwin Buffaloes, you are also on fire, led by Stokes, led by Yaron, led by Baxter Mensch and Charlie Sharples. And they've just moved on, if you like, 5-3-33. Tiwi Bombers 1-2-8. And the Bombers, they have some work to do, 10 minutes into Q2.
They do. And as you said, they just moved Orville into the middle. They just really needed that strong body in and under there just to stop that run between Stokes and Yaron. And even Antonio James on the wing's been quite good for them as well, just nice and composed. And as has Jared Stokes, nice and composed, and the skills are just jumping on top of the Tiwi Bombers. So they'll have to find something and some good runners in there. I noticed they've put Darcy Lang up forward, so he might be crucial somewhere else around the ground. But as we go up, Tiwi get the first clearance out here, and they're looking for a teammate on the wing who takes a beautiful mark. And they're looking to play on and come in, but he just spots a teammate, and a great kick.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
To Cantillo, who's just found another teammate. And they're just trying to confuse Buffaloes here, I think, and they're doing it. And they're getting in front, and a beautiful spoil there. So no mark inside 50, but at least it's gotten inside there for, I think, about the second or third time so far this first 10 minutes. So the umpire will say that's my ball and go for a ball up inside Tiwi's forward 50. Sketcher
in the ruck for Darwin, but it's knocked over the back. But Buffaloes will clear outside their forward 50. Just couldn't quite take the mark. Guess who? Jared Stokes gets the ball, flips it out wide. Darwin Buffaloes on the charge once again. Kicked into open space, and there's plenty of open space out here at Marara. And too much pace for Daniel Stafford and the Bombers. Again, they favour the short kick, which is just open a little bit too much. Lachlan Hill on the mark. Buffaloes defensively. Scoreboard side at Marara. Sells the dummy, goes forward. Once again, the short kick is their undoing. I don't know why they don't kick long, but perhaps it's the coach's instructions. I don't know why they kick short, because there's too much left to the weather and a skill deficiency. Ball, Buffaloes, keep it inside. That time it is Timmy Eldridge gets the ball out, and the kick off the ground goes through, and it's a minor score. So Buffaloes just charging on, doing it as they like. 5-4-34, Tiwi Bombers 1-2-8, 12 and a half minutes into Q2.
Yeah, and I think Buffs just had two in the square going, why don't you get a quick hands over to us? But Tiwi have got it, and they'll look to go longer at least to the near side wing, and dropped by Cantilla. But he's gone for the handball, and it hasn't quite come off, and it looks like Nicky just tried to take control. Sorry, that's Brad Stokes. Tried to take control of that footy, but there's been a free kick off the ball. So Thompson's got it, takes a great mark here, and he'll just slow this down, which I think's needed, and hopefully go long. And he does that, but it's a 3-on-2, and just tunnelled by a teammate there.
But at least it's down there 40 metres rather than 10 metres and a turnover.
Sure is. So we'll get a ball in from that spoil by Darwin Buffaloes, and we're just inside Tiwi's forward half. Can't quite see who's going up here in the ruck, but we'll get a nice long ball in, and it's up, and it's being contested. I think it just came off someone's head there, but Carlson Cantilla there pursuing that from just trying to do the ruck work. But it comes out the back and rolled over it. Baxter Mensch, no free kick. Just kicked off the ground. Tiwi first to it, but knocks it out. That's deliberate, surely.
Just depends where the field umpire was to view that, but it certainly looked it, didn't it?
We had a great view, and
we did indeed.
Field umpire's on the other side, so fair enough for a ball in there.
Sketcher against Carlson Cantilla. It'll be Sketcher in front for Darwin. Knocks the ball forward. Stokes taken high. Play on, called the umpire. No, you'll come back. Unless he paid it against him for taking them on. Missed the high tackle.
I think he has.
Yeah, and the Bombers have it through Edward Puruntatameri Dunn. Puruntatameri Dunn kicks it forward. Over the back, Kevin Moroney. Hasn't had much to do, but the Buffalo defence holds firm. Kicks it forward. Nicely done. Xavier Grant still inside defensive 50. Looking to the outer in the corridor. Mucked it up with a short kick. Kick on goal. Darwin, the Tiwi Bombers need this. They do need this, and they get it. And I reckon that's Damien Dunn.
Looks like it was Damien Dunn to just have a shot on, nice long shot on goal there. So a great turnover. Again, something Tiwi were doing with those short kicks, turning it over, and Buffs just looked for the short kick and it didn't quite work. And Tiwi Bombers with their first goal of this quarter.
So to say that was much needed is an understatement. So the Bombers move on to 2-2-14, trailing Darwin Buffaloes 5-4-34. It was a 1-point lead to Buffaloes at quarter time, 8 points to 7. So they've pushed on. They've kicked 4 goals to 1 in this second term, which has moved on 15 minutes. Back in the middle, Carlson Cantilla up against Sketcher. Darcy Sketcher. The chop-out ruckman for Darwin Buffaloes. Up they go. Cantilla wins it and wins it comfortably. Gets it out. There's Orville, but he's got a couple to beat. Flipped around a high tackle. Almost took the head off Nick Yarran. That wouldn't worry him. He could play football without a head, I reckon. He'd know where to go. Just plays by instinct. Darwin Buffaloes inside their forward 50. Looking for a free kick. It's not going to be forthcoming. Been good umpiring. They're not going to pay a free kick unless it's there. Pay the obvious, and that's what they're doing. Bombers get the clearance. The pace race. Dragged off the footy. Moroney dragged off, I reckon, the football, and Kevin Moroney takes the free kick. Moroney just backwards, slightly backward of the wing, plus 50. Useful.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of umpire dissent and disagreement from the Tiwi Bombers. They're just a little bit undisciplined.
Orville there. Maybe we don't know, because if it was dissent. And his first serious shot on goal, Coco Nicky. I always raise the fact that Nicky never misses, but I reckon distance might be an issue. Right of centre, 45-degree angle, kicking to the airport end at Marara. Coco Nicky is going to have to clear about 48 metres.
He's got a short run up here, so back.
What's he looking short? Yep. He's looking short. Well done, but it didn't come off. Again, the short kick doesn't work. Doesn't matter where it is. That's a high tackle, surely to goodness. And the field umpire once again agrees with me. I should have the green shirt on.
Yeah, I think you should take up some umpiring. I think we're doing a good job from up here. It's very easy up here to watch it as well. So as Tiwi Bombers bring it out, they look for a switch and open up the ground, and a long handball out there to Tipuana Mantunameri.
Tipper Mantunameri, that's him.
So they're just on the ground, just dragged along there in the wet, and Buffs with a beautiful mark by Chris Williams, and he's found a teammate in Baxter Mensch who's played on. He's got 2 inside, he's looking at Stafford sitting under it, takes a beautiful chest mark, and he'll go back and have a set shot on goal. How
good was that? It was a 40-metre kick, Stafford on his own, and he's just too big and strong for his direct opponent. It doesn't matter who they put on him. But Daniel Stafford has 2 goals in this second term, as does Jared Stokes. But Stafford, a big chance. Within kicking distance for him, he'll have to kick from about 40, I reckon, but just slightly left of centre, so it suits the right footer. Stafford moves in, kicks on goal, and doesn't worry anyone. Even the goal umpire says thank you very much, straight over the cap. Stafford has 3 in the second.
That he does, and there's 2 multiple goal scorers for the Darwin Buffs, and they've both been very strong in, as you just mentioned, Jared Stokes and Stafford, with Jared Stokes with 2 and Stafford with 3. So getting on top of the Tiwi Bombers now. They are. Tiwi will need some run, some carry, some long kicks if they want to really get on top here.
Brock Orville's the standout for the Tiwi Bombers, but they just haven't got any system. Their system is down, whereas the Darwin Buffaloes seem to have a plan.
Yeah, Tiwi look like every time they broke the Buffs' defence that had pushed up, they were straight inside 50, but they can't seem to break it at the moment. They're all getting sucked into the ball, so As the ball has gone up here, Cantilla wins that, and a quick kick around the body, and it falls in favour of the bounce. It actually bounced this time. It didn't get stuck in the rain. And it's Tiwi come out with it with a quick hands, but Buffs read it best. A long kick down the line. Angus Murray standing under that with a slide in. Dangerous slide in from Buffs there, but Tiwi with it. Cantilla onto it. A little dinky little short kick, not 15.
Certainly not 15.
It's just rolled out, so we'll get a ball in no one's territory at the moment.
So Fitzgerald back on in ruck. Carlson Cantilla doesn't get a rest. He won't get any splinters because he won't spend any time on the pine, I don't reckon. Fitzgerald in front, can't move his big body, kicks the ball out over the back, and it's Antonio James, who you mentioned earlier, Sam, has played a pretty good game on the wing, on the outer wing for Darwin. A big strong mark that time. Tiwi Bombers get some system, find a forward, kick to a man without, but over the back, and a nice mark that time. It's Stokes, Jared Stokes again. Forward, favouring the outer. Short. It's okay. Unmarked. Still defensively. Again short. 2-on-1 and beat it. Mensch. Mensch on the left foot. He's got another short. Buffaloes, they have got some system. They've got something going. Antonio James mucks it up. Will he turn it over? Hung on to. Yep, he has turned it over. Bit unfortunate. But Kim Cantilla hasn't had much of the football. Kicked an early goal. Kicked the first goal for the Tiwi Bombers. Now they have a big chance. Over the back, but strong as you like. Mark not taken. The Bombers come out with the football. Working hard. Clearance by hand. Another handball. A bump in the side, no tackle. And the Darwin Buffaloes get the clearance onto the left foot, and the mark taken at this time by Chris Williams.
So Chris Williams will look inboard. He's gone short, but a great mark, and Buffs have really slowed this down, and Williams just then asking for it to slow down, but the umpire's called play on, and Murray can't quite wrap him up. So Buffs have got run over the here, and that's Hill with a quick tap to Eldridge, and Eldridge looking for a teammate forward, and it's the big fella in it, Daniel Stafford. Can't quite take the chest mark, but comes off the back with it, and a quick shot on goal, empty goal square, and it goes straight through.
Nicky.
So yeah, that was Nicky.
Coco Nicky, his first goal. And the sixth goal for the term for Darwin Buffaloes. They might stitch it up by half-time as we approach the 22-minute mark. It's Darwin Buffaloes 7-4-46. Tiwi Bombers, who just cannot find an avenue forward, cannot find system forward of the centre, whereas Buffaloes looking all the time. They've got Stafford down there. They've got Jared Stokes, who is everywhere. He's omnipresent. He can just play anywhere. And the score, 7-4-46 Darwin Buffaloes. Tiwi Bombers 2-2-14.
Yeah, and the rain's definitely stopped here, and we're seeing this oval drain off nicely as well.
It's some good nick now, isn't it?
It's definitely, there's still puddles around the ground, and it's still wet weather footy, but at least the rain's stopped and we're lessening. So the ball's gone up here and done at the bottom of that, but a long handball out. Buffs with some quick hands. Just got it on the boot there and out the back, and they seem to have numbers ready for those hands out the back now as well. So Mensch takes that mark and he plays on. Looking inside 50, he's got the big fella. Stafford goes at it, but a beautiful spoil there and picked up by Wiley, and a quick hands and out. And they've got it outside. They've got it out to halfway, and almost an unrealistic attempt.
Yeah, I think the umpire agrees with you, and a terrific decision. The umpiring's been very, very good. Got the major free kicks, but Buffaloes have it go forward once again on the outer, under the scoreboard, just forward of the scoreboard. Swings around, Sharples, kicks inside his team's forward 50, over the back, and the big strong mark by the big strong man, and Mensch, who has 3 in this second term, will kick on goal. Distance might be an issue because he's going to have to kick from 50, even though he's left of centre, which opens it up for the right footer, but it's going to have to be a good one.
That it will be, and I'm sure it's a wet, heavy footy at the moment if they haven't managed to swap it out and a sneaky behind the goals. So it'll take a nice big boot here.
Stafford Moves in very deliberately. He is on fire. Daniel Stafford, 3 so far in the second. Kicks on goal. It's a beauty off the boot, and the goal umpire says no. Missed the left-hand side. Just
hung out left there, and Tiwi will look to get it on quickly here. And Rhett Jordan in their back pocket with it. He's calling a player forward and short, but go long, go to the wing. Oh, it's knocked the ground as he's kicked that, and it's gone out in the full. So Darwin Buffs will get a free kick just outside their forward 50.
Tim Eldridge by the looks of it.
So Eldridge looking for a short kick. Takes the mark, some great, clean, clever hands through Nathan Stewart. He looks inboard but turned over there. So Tiwi with the ball through Punatanameri Dunn, and he's looking for Orville there, who's using his strong body. A great pick up from the big fella, but he's managing it to... Oh, he's just thrown his opponent off.
Well done. It was terrific work there by Kevin Moroney. He just didn't give up against the bigger fella. Well done, Kevin Moroney, defensively.
He's won himself that free kick, so he knew he just had to buy some time and just got on Orville's frustration, so the ball will get back to him eventually. So he'll look out for a teammate, and he finds him. They will look to go long on the far side wing. In front, Jared Stokes can't quite take the mark through the hands, but Tiwi have the footy, and that is the halftime siren. So a huge quarter by the Darwin Buffaloes. They're leading 7 goals, 5-47 against the Tiwi Bombers, 2 goals, 2-14. And we'll be back with you after this quick halftime break.
You know Territorians go a long way for one another. So it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling expenses. And that goes a long way when you're away. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Looking for a fun day out with your family or friends? Head on over to Palmerston Mini Golf. With our beautifully landscaped course suitable for all ages, you'll have a blast playing mini golf here at Palmerston. We offer the perfect setting for kids' birthday parties, complete with special packages to make their day unforgettable. And if you're looking to have some fun with your mates, we have you covered too. Play during the day or under lights. We're open until 10 p.m.
And we'll see you around Palmerston Mini Golf.
Find us at the Palmerston Golf and Country Club.
So we're here on a Friday night for our NAB AFL Auskick, where we run a girls-only option, and the kids are pumped, ready to rock and roll and have some fun with the footy.
We signed our daughter up for Auskick because her big brother did Auskick last year, and she just loves it. I thought signing her up for a girls-only group would be a great chance for her to kind of be with some friends in a comfortable environment.
The thing about a girls-only team that I think Zoe really enjoys is that she gets to run around with like-minded girls. They get distracted, they do cartwheels, they hold hands, they sing. It just makes it a bit more of a fun experience.
I like Auskick because I get to play with my sister. We love Auskick!
A number of parents have asked if their daughter has to be in your girls group, and they don't. There will be some girls that will naturally just gravitate to brothers or cousins and join the boys group and have just as much fun if it were to be single sex. So yeah, there's definitely options there every Friday night.
My girls just love interacting with the other girls here. They love kicking a footy, they love learning the skills, and they love the hot dog at the end. I love joining in with my girls. I actually can't help myself, and I love to see the skills not only of my kids but of the other kids in their girls only group really developing over the clinic.
Evie just loves playing the games, learning new things. She'll be doing it then for the rest of the weekend, doing her favourite kicks, telling us how many goals she kicked on Friday night.
The best thing about Auskick is that it's really fun. It's lots of fun for them.
Yeah!
Those pounce in numbers Darms picks up, gets a quick hand pass forward, and now his kick comes inside forward 50. It's beautifully weighted to Moody, and Moody on the board again for Nightcliff, and Scrubby's one forward. It's a tap forward into the hands of Cantilla. Hand pass back looking for Orville again. He picks up now, swings the ball back towards goal, and at the top of the goal square, Stanley Tipalura coming out of the goal square out directly in front. So Stanley Tipalura kick on the way, no problem at all, and a goal that Tiwi seriously needed as and he's got a player out in plenty of space here in Clark. Clark kicks inboard. Nyhouse gets it on the bounce, hand passes over his shoulder to Scott, back to Nyhouse. Nyhouse dribbles a kick forward, and Sing Lippo on the line does his best to get out of the way of it. He does get out of the way of it and allows it to bounce through. And Scott, he wheels around onto his right boot, hooks over his shoulder, and Nyhouse coming out from the goal square picks up. He's got three players out wide. Darms takes the mark, hand passes across to Sing Lippo. So there's two players there that had no one within 30 metres of them as they raffled who was going to kick the goal, and Darms looking to the top of the goal square looking for Nyhouse, just slips off hands out the back to where they're first at ground level as the ball spills to the front of the pack, picked up a left foot kick towards goal. Is a goal, and I think you'll find that was Cameron Eilert who'd made his way all the way down the ground. But been out of grand final action for a couple of years now as Wild wins that hit out down. The hand pass over the top from Tardru. Comes back to Tardru now, or just ducks through a couple of Tiwi defenders, kicks on the outside of the boot and bangs it through for a very clever goal. End of this one again at half forward, looking to move the ball on quickly, kicks high to the top of the goal square. Off hands, it's Nyhouse at the back of the pack, swings around on the right boot, and he's kicked another goal for Nightcliff, and Nyhouse now has kicked one goal in each of the four quarters. I can see Lupo somersaults forward and then gives the hand pass off, but it now falls into the hands of Orville, who had an air shot. Oh, that one's pinched by Michael Dunn, kicks on the outside of the boot, and I think he might have manufactured a goal here for Tiwi. That was a bit of a comedy of errors coming out there, but some short and finds Clark, and Clark has found Brown, who got some space.
Has he got it this time? He has. Get around him, he's done it. And as the teammates rush over, there it is, finally Stewie got there.
Makes the mark inboard. As in fact it's Cooper Darms as the siren goes to end the game. So in the end it was 3-2 in the final quarter, but Nightcliff had the game well in their control going into that final quarter. And
they'll get named the final team tomorrow. Dylan Lant now takes the handball from Sauder, runs in at goal. Goal umpire doesn't move, and St Mary's have kicked their first goal to their captain, Dylan Lant. To the top, he's tackled without it. It should be a free kick. The umpire doesn't call it. Jackson Clark with the handball, and guess who? Dylan Lant runs in and kicks another goal for St Mary's. For the kick, goes in for a second effort, gets it back to Hodges, who chucks it on the boot, tapping it out in front of him. Jackson Calder, he's going to run into goal and kick one for the Saints. A nice easy one for Jackson Calder. Ducks, weaves his way through traffic, puts it on the right. Calder's underneath it, comes off hands. Dylan Lance there again, puts it on the left. You wouldn't believe it, he's kicked his third goal in the first 17 minutes of the first quarter. He gives it off to Dylan Lant. He's got the running Seth Harris and Darcy Churgwood. He's come down from defence, but he unselfishly gives the hands off, and St Mary's have kicked another goal, and that time Charlton Offerman. Some great work there by Churgwood. It is Dylan Lant now with the kick. Mitch Taylor leading to the ball with Corowa. They're having a great contest. Corowa keeps his feet. I think he's kicked it. Yep, they're celebrating the Saints, and some great work there by Tex Cordefa. So throw in, Calder takes it out, kicks it high, kicks it, and he's kicked another one. Jackson Calder for St Mary's in front of Cordefa. Calder there as well. Super quick hands off to Offermans. He has a shot on goal, and he has kicked it. So Offermans with another goal for the Saints. Calder the fly over the top of Cordefa. Mitch Taylor just a little kick off the ground, picked up by Mitch Musgrove, and he's kicked a goal. So almost 16 minutes into the third quarter, Musgrove has kicked a goal. That's the first ruck that Johnson hasn't gone up for, Buxy. Picked up by Braden McLean off a couple of steps, and he's kicked a goal. So great answer there by Wanderers.
Would be very happy with their last 2 quarters.
Yeah, they've done well as the ball comes off hands to Brennan. Running in now, Offermans. A little kick. 16 seconds it took for that goal, Buxy. St Mary's opening their account in the last quarter. Dylan Lant chopping it off now. Brennan gives it back to Lant. Lant goes inboard, arches the back, puts it on the left, and look at that kick. 4 goals for Dylan Lant. Post takes a mark, picks it up, gets the handball out wide to Ted Castle. He doesn't take it with him. Now he does. Regains composure, and what a goal from the pocket by Ted Castle. The bridge with the big punch away. Braith Hodges with it now. He's going to have a kick. Big kick by Hodges and shepherded through by Jackson Calder. Beautiful goal by Braith Hodges. Matty Motlop, he's been good for Wanderers tonight.
Yeah, he's been
really hard.
the best as well, I think. He's been really good. And Dylan Lant, once again, another goal. Just hard running.
Ladder now, and as it stands, Nightcliff out in front on top. As the full-time siren goes, and St Mary's 21-13, 139 have defeated Wanderers 3-4-22 here at TIO Stadium.
Again, and this time, once again, Connor McDonald plays a bit like a midfielder. Got the handball out, grubbers the kick through the goal, and I said he was a goal kicker. Benjamin Brett has the goal. The first one, it took them 5 minutes, but they're on the board.
Centre every time it comes out.
Yep, Partington has been so good for Pint. Just a swingman, can play anywhere. Over the back, Mark dropped. Goes by hand, kick off the ground, and I reckon that might be Ethan Penrith. There, playing on quickly, down forward. Jonathan Ross, one out, got a couple to beat. The defence. Oh, bad handball. Swings around. What a goal. Was that a goal?
Yep.
I reckon it was. Matthew Dennis kicks pretty straight. Ball didn't quite make the distance. It looked like a high tackle there, or was it an act? Ball on the ground, in dispute, picked up that time, kicked across his body with the left foot, and it's Lockie O'Brien, who's been busy, got the goal. Again, didn't lower the eyes. Brander, they say. Brander. Brander does get it, kicks forward, running into an open goal, and that time, that will be Dylan Barry. He's got one. O'Brien will go on to swing onto the left boot. Switches. Grandstand side, only as far as Beau Schwarz, sells the dummy onto the non-preferred left, and Beau Schwarz, thank you very much, the non-preferred left, beautifully done. The clearance goes the way of the pointers. Back to Penrith. Oh, wonderful tackle. Play on called the umpire, advantage. Series of handballs on the left boot. Harrison Marr does it and does it nicely. McKimmie. Onto the left boot.
That might...
He's done it nicely. Yep,
came back
Gee,
very,
that
very
was an
well.
educated kick, wasn't it? That was. Has the pace. The skipper gets it forward, and Bosch. No, it's Dylan Barry. Now Barry's a left footer. Swings around onto the left foot. Swings around onto the left foot, and I reckon he's nailed that. That is a wonderful, wonderful, confident goal. Dylan Barry, you said the first goal's the key.
Yeah.
Halfway through the second quarter, has probably had the better of him. But hasn't kicked a goal. Jonathan Ross, Jono Ross, a noted goal kicker. Jono or Jonathan, doesn't matter, call him what you will. That might be the horse with the straw. Right? Tried to barge his way through the ball away. Doesn't matter. Wasn't seen by the field umpire. Bouncing out of defence is Lockie O'Brien. Lockie O'Brien kicks it to Motlop. Motlop goes further forward by hand, looking out there for McKimmie. McKimmie sells the dummy, runs into an open goal and nails it. Harry McKimmie.
Kicks his third for the day.
Districts, right half forward. That's it. That's it. 8-5-53. Southern Districts, the home team.
So come away with a 7-point win. So Point did win the quarter by 2 points, but in the end, 7-4-46. Southern Districts coming away 8-5-53.
Into the corridor. Oh, I thought Clarkey could have gone for that then, but now it gets to Thomas Clark. The umpire said he's ducked into that. Does advantage get paid? And the umpire says yes, it's paid, and it's through for a goal. So I think that was Coco Nicky that's kicked that goal. Is there as well. They need numbers here. Edmonds again, and he's caught him holding the ball. And well done at Lucas Edmonds. That was 2.
Terrific tackle, 30 metres out too, so he should convert.
Yeah, he should. He's usually a good kick, and he's got the Magpies' first goal on the board, so they trail by a goal. Roney got a fist into it. Driscoll plays on. It was the free kick. Oh, he had a number of Palmerston players in the middle. Carlton can't pick it up now. He kicks it, and he's kicked their second. The young fella, Dallas. Carlton gets around them, and Colton, has kicked his first goal behind him. Must have been good voice there for the Buffaloes, and they can rattle this off and raffle it off, and Coco Nicky will go back and kick his second. Too easy there, the transition for the Darwin Buffaloes, and they have their 6th goal. More of that Peach as well.
Yeah,
so
bigger type players too.
So Nick Yaron just dances around, looks to McBean. Good punch from behind, but McBean, that's Loftus, sorry. Gets it to Armat Watkins. Armat Watkins has drilled it. He's kicked his second. And Buffaloes pegged that goal back. Take the mark under pressure. Waylon Davies hanging out here. If they can get it to him, Such Taylor needs to go back. And again, Chrissy Williams picks it up. If he kicks this, I'm telling you what, he's going to celebrate. He does now.
Nice goal.
So Chrissy Williams has got his first goal, and the Darwin Buffaloes have their 10th coming, but there's not. It's all clear on bomb, but Edmonds goes into the forward line. Barnett picks it up. They get it out here to Little Low, and he's kicked it. So a good start to the Palmerston Magpies. They've kicked their 4th goal, and Little Low has his first. Now Coco Nicky's parked underneath it. Waylon Davey couldn't get there, and Coco Nicky then plays on quickly. Kicks it to Jared Stokes. Couldn't hit him on the chest. Jared Stokes tackled. Now he has a shot on goal, and he's kicked it. They did it the hard way there, the Darwin Buffaloes, but the captain gets the goal. Well done, Jared Stokes.
At TIO Stadium.
So the kick in there by Palmerston, intercepted by Nick Yaron. Daniel Stafford at the back. It's punched. Jared Stokes front and centre, puts it on the boot. Has he kicked it this time? And it looks like it's all through for a goal that time for the Darwin Buffaloes. And their captain, Jared Stokes. Little handball over the top. And back to Jared Stokes. He's just everywhere in this final quarter. Has another shot on goal, and he's kicked another one. So Jared Stokes kicks his 5th goal in this final quarter. We'll go close with this too. He loves the trick shots. He's very skillful. Nice looking kick off the boot. Waylon Davey has put that through for a goal.
You're spot on, Liz.
Yeah, so the 6th goal for the Magpies back. Nice little kick on the right, goes over the top, but they've got good hands off to Jared Stokes, and he's kicked his 6th goal of the final quarter. Just beautifully read there by Jared Stokes. Sandful footy, and he played for the NT as a youngster, so he's had a great career, but brings real experience.
As the siren goes, Liz, so it's all over here at TIO Stadium, 19-19, 133 to 7-6-48.
All right, welcome back here to the second half of this TIO NTFL 2023-2024 Round 15, Men's Premier League Round 15 clash between the Tiwi Bombers and the Darwin Buffaloes. The Darwin Buffaloes with a nice, healthy lead against the Tiwi Bombers heading into this second half. Butters, how have you seen the first half?
Oh, look, a 6-goal-to-1 second term, I think, says it all.
Sure does.
Back, here we go. Now it's Fitzgerald up against Cantilla. Fitzgerald comfortably gets the ball down, knocks it to his team's advantage. Back in the clearance, hasn't quite got it yet. Orville running harder, they've still got him in the forward line. Orville picks it up this time, runs, just pushed off his kick, but at least gets it forward, and they score within 20 seconds of the start. But unfortunately, it's the minor rather than the 6-pointer that they desperately need. Bradley Stokes finds someone short. Still inside defensive 50, favours the outer. Now it's outside defensive 50. Just nudged him out. It was a free kick. No, the mark was paid to Cantilla. Looked like a definite push in the back, but nonetheless, the umpire's been exemplary so far. Brendan Cantilla. So Carlson Cantilla to Brendan Cantilla. Where's Kim? But I reckon Brendan will have a shot on goal. He's just left of centre, and man on the mark 30 metres out, so he'll have to kick from 35.
Yeah, and a fast start from Tiwi, just what they needed.
Well, they got the behind, didn't they? And it wasn't a 6-pointer, but this really should be. But he's gone short again. And there's Kim. So it's a can killer. We've had the trifecta. We had Carlson get it to Brendan, and Brendan's got it to Kim. So away we go. Now, don't muck it up. No pressure.
Maybe he's the trusty Cantilla, hopefully.
So Kim Cantilla, saw him kick 10 goals many, many years ago in an NTFL game. So Kim Cantilla, very deliberate, runs around, opens the angle up, and what's he done? He's nailed it. So Cantilla to goal.
He had a beautiful kick, well timed, well judged. He was just ready for that one. And he finished it off with some class, as he said, a 10-goal kicker in the past, and hopefully that'll lift the Tiwi Bombers heading into this second half of footy. So Darwin Buffalo still with the lead, 2 minutes gone into the third quarter, 7-goal 5:47 to Tiwi Bombers 3-goal 3:21.
And that's Kim Cantilla's second goal. Second out of only 3. Fitzgerald against Carlson Cantilla. Brendan lurking. Nick Yarran. We see him, number 2. Up they go. Carlson Cantilla got a fist to the football. Tiwi, there's something happened in the middle. We missed that. Buffaloes will get the clearance onto the left foot. Forward they go. And a good mark, good strong mark. That's one of his very few possessions to Ismail Palmer. Palmer goes forward, tried the short, didn't do any good. Darcy Lang, who's been a good player for the Bombers. Lang. And diving mark. It's one of the Tipalura boys. Gets it out wide. Turns it over. No high tackle. He actually slipped into the high tackle, so good umpiring. Kevin Moroney, Darwin Buffaloes get the ball out wide. Going out there to Lachlan Hill. Hill, almost basketball bounces, but taps to himself. Gets it back to Coco Nicky. Nicky too far out to score, which is unusual for him. He likes to kick a goal. Nicky picks someone out. He has, and he's done it nicely. Buffaloes in with a chance. Now they lead to Stafford. Stafford, who kicked 3 in the second. Can he start off with 1 in the third early? Daniel Stafford, right of centre.
He was looking to pass that one off. He's had a few options come back towards him, and he's still got his eyes lifted looking for a teammate, but the umpire just setting him on his mark. So he'll kick from about 50 here. It seems like they've got a new footy, a dry footy to start this quarter off.
Oh, the poor boys.
And he's got a nice long kick. It's right on the line, but punched through by Tiwi Bombers. So Darwin Buff's first score of the third quarter, and it's a behind.
So the monitor Buffalo, Stafford, 3 goals in that second term.
So standing right at the edge of the square, takes a couple of steps out and plays on, looking for the long kick that we wanted last quarter, and it's come out over the hands and out the back to Tiwi. And 2 kicks, and they're inside their forward half. Running onto that footy now, can't quite take it cleanly, but still pursuing it is one of the Tipalura boys, and he's in and under there. He's got support out the back from Cantilla, and it's just knocked out to a teammate in Rhett Jordan, but Jordan can't keep his feet. Lurking his Baxter Mensch, looking for a quick hands, but a kick out to Thompson, who's spilled that mark, and Eldridge from Buffaloes to mop that up. But going in hard is Tiwi, and they're in and under it, but it's Buffaloes with the slip of ball out the back, and it's still in dispute back on the ground with Tiwi in there, Fitzgerald in there at the bottom now, and the umpire says that's my ball.
A noticeable increase in intensity by the Tiwi Bombers, I reckon.
Yeah, I would say they got a bit of a spray potentially at half time, and they've come out firing. So Cantilla over the top, straight into the hands of Rioli, who goes around the corner looking for a teammate in, finds him straight on the chest in Rhett Jordan, and he'll look to the square. He finds a teammate in there who's just dropped the mark, but he's followed it up. Has Tipalura, and has he kicked his goal?
I reckon it is.
Certainly has. So great forward pressure from Tiwi there to get that ball in long, and a beautiful kick.
Is that Stanley Tipalura, I reckon?
Sure was. That's his first goal for this game.
So 2 goals to 0 to the Tiwi Bombers in this third quarter, which is what they wanted. And there, as I mentioned, there seems to be an increase in intensity. 4-3-27 the Bombers, but they trail Darwin Buffalo 7-6-48.
Yeah, they're just looking a bit more cohesive at the start of this third quarter, and it seems to be working for them and playing for each other at the moment. So as the ball goes up in the middle of the ground, Cantilla over the top. No one really won that tap, but Yaren's picked it up cleanly off the deck, and he's kicked it out to some space. Running onto it is Stafford. He doesn't bend at the hips at all, but Eldridge in support runs on, takes on the tackler, has to get a quick handball out. Got support there by Mensch, who gets wrapped up, and he's got Stafford out the back. Stafford looks short and cut off there beautifully by the Tiwi Bombers.
The Bombers have the ball back in their defence, kicks it out wide and goes that time to Michael Thompson's done a little bit, Michael Thompson. Thompson goes forward, still in their defensive zone, working their way into the corridor. That time Damien Dunn hasn't done much, but Orville, he's done plenty, gets the ball out, goes to a teammate, the old 1-2. Orville kicks it forward to an unmarked teammate, and Orville just keeps running. He's the running machine. Orville kicks it forward, deserves a goal here. Missed and clean bowls everyone. Over the back, Cantilla dragged off the footy, in possession according to the umpire. Fair decision. Play on called, and Kevin Moroney will see the ball out of bounds, but it's left full forward, the Tiwi Bombers. They've kicked 2. Buffaloes haven't answered. The Bombers in prime position. Tossed in by the boundary umpire, left full forward, the Bombers. There is Damien Dunn. Ball on the ground. Tipalura and Yaron started the game off beautifully. Had a couple of possessions now. Yaron kicks forward to a 2-on-1. And the one, Joseph Collinson, doesn't win out. And the ball is out of bounds under the big TIO sign on the wing. On the outer at Marara. 4-3-27, the Tiwi Bombers. Darwin Buffaloes 7-6-48. Boundary umpire does the deed. Cantilla, no one got the tap there. They're both too worried about each other. Tiwi Bombers through Damien Dunn. Kicked off the Grand Orville. Inside forward 50. Buffalo defence. Calm as you like. One handball, two handballs. The little chip kick over the top. Players now calling for the football. Kicks to a 2-on-1, which is not too good, but the Buffaloes actually do win out. Jared Stokes sells the dummy, touches the ball on the ground, runs his full measure, kicks towards Stafford, up forwards, not Stafford. At the back there it's Nicky, and Nicky can't take the mark, just couldn't quite control that, and a rush behind. So the Darwin Buffaloes go to 7-7-49, Tiwi Bombers 4-3-27, coming up 10 minutes Q3.
So Tiwi will take this kick out. Still some major puddles down there, but it's obviously affected the kick, and it's outside Darwin Buff's forward 50 and a free kick for an out in the full. So that'll do James. That'll kick that in, and he's looking for a teammate. So he comes around and he's kept it low, and he's hit up a Tiwi Bombers player right inside their forward 50. So as he comes, he's looking for that corridor again, and he's got Orville out the back, great hands. He looks to run and play on with a long kick inside 50, looking for a teammate, and he's found him. And that's Tipalura. He's looking to play on. That he does. He's got a teammate out the back, and who puts his mitts up, doesn't quite take that mark, and great spoil, but a kick out the air by the Tiwi Bombers, and they've kicked a goal. I can't quite see who that is, but what a kick off the deck. And he looks like he's hurt himself there, some soccer superstar. We'll just try and work out who this is.
It was a good one. It was a good one with the white boots.
So Tiwi, 3 goals in this first 10 minutes, looking to close that gap, and they're definitely not out of it here. Only 3 goals behind, so looks promising for their second half. So as we've got the ball back in the middle, we're about to go up. We've both got a defensive sweeper hanging off here, and Sketchers in the ruck for the Darwin Buffaloes against Cantilla. And Cantilla just winning that, but not effective, and a quick kick off the deck. Sliding in the Tiwi Bombers player, just taking the legs out, but they've paid the free kick to Eldridge for that slide in. So he'll take a kick and look to go inside 50, and he does. He's looking for Stafford, puts the mitts up but can't quite take it, and great roving work there by Buffs out to Mensch. Mensch, a quick kick on the left. It's going to bounce, and it's going to bounce over to the left of the behind post for a ball in. So still trying to just work out who kicked that goal. He hasn't turned around for us yet. But as a ball, we're deep inside Buff's forward 50 here. Waiting for this ball to come back in. So as it does, Cantilla flies up early. And it's come over the back. Some quick hands from Tiwi out to Lang. Lang's got a teammate in some space. He's got a paddock. He's just got to pick this up cleanly, but trips over his own feet, leaving it to be picked up there by James, who uses his strength there, but can't quite get through. And a quick hands from Sketcher out the back, and a composed kick, and he's gone backwards, but just to release a teammate to go forward. And Carlson Cantilla in everything in this 10 minutes of this third quarter, and they'll hold it up just inside Buff's 50.
Brendan Cantilla was the unknown man. So it's inside Buffalo's forward 50. Right half forward. Ball on the ground again in dispute. Picked up. Nice kick off the boot. And a wonderful tipper. A finger tipper. Mark taken by Darcy Lang, who's been pretty good in defence all game for the Bombers. So they'll be struggling without him. They'll run the ball outside their defensive 50, slightly favouring the grandstand side. There's the goal kicker, Brendan Cantilla, the skipper, gets the ball back, does it nicely. Play on called the umpire. Looked like he was pushed in the back, but not according to the man that counts. Bombers again go forward. They've dominated this third term. Doesn't necessarily reflect it on the scoreboard, but they've got a long way to go to pick it up. Picked up by Cantilla once again. Brendan Cantilla kicks on goal. Mark not taken. Ball on the ground. Was it ball taken? The mark, I think, has been paid. Bradley Stokes, a miraculous mark. I'd like to see a replay of that. Nonetheless, they don't wait for me to see a replay. Buffaloes have the footy on the outer. Quick switch. Yaron started the game off beautifully, as I mentioned, and his third quarter has been exceptional as well, but the ball is out of bounds. Buffaloes slightly in attack. 5-3-33 the Tiwi Bombers. Darwin Buffaloes 7-7-49. The Buffaloes need now to get some system back into their game. Sketcher up against Carlson Cantilla. Sketcher works his way to the front. Probably knocks the ball down. Orville kicks it off the ground, almost a fresh air shot. Looking for Thompson, no, ignores him. Round there, go on the right foot. It's got to be precise, is precise. Cantilla kicks it forward and almost kicked it to his teammate, Tim Eldridge. Darwin Buffaloes gets the footy. Mark again dropped, but Eldridge might have been flattened as he kicked that. We didn't see that quite off camera. And it's Sketcher who'll take the free kick just back to the centre in the corridor. Goes forward, looking for Nicky. Nicky jumped in, ducked his head. Jared Stokes hung on to, and Stokes takes the free kick. Gosh, he's had some possessions, hasn't he? Jared Stokes it is. This time it goes for Stafford, and Stafford doesn't let him down, takes the mark. Stafford points to the man on the mark, sells the dummy, runs in, kicks on goal, and the big fella has done it again. Got 3 in the third, in the second, now he's got 1 in the third.
He's just played that beautifully, telling him where to go on the mark, and then played on himself and had one-man show down there. So great work, Stafford.
So he took the mark, took the kick, umpired the game, doing everything.
Just wasn't the goal umpire calling it.
Daniel Stafford has 4. Goal umpire didn't work. Again, didn't have to do any work at all. So Sketcher back in the ruck. Darcy Sketcher up against Carlson Cantilla. Fitzgerald having a rest, having some time on the pine. Splinters in the backside. Ball to be tossed up. Sketcher probably knocked it back to his team's advantage. Picked up that time by Chris Williams. Williams, a strong centreman, but at centre half back. Bombers hold them up. In trouble. Out wide. Kurt Dunn. Got some work to do. Ball on the ground. And on the ground, if the ball's on the ground, the man that can get it is Jared Stokes. It is Jared Stokes, and Stokes has got 3. How easy is this game when you are Jared Stokes?
He's unbelievable.
He is a gun.
You can't keep calling his name. Oh, he kicked 6 last week as well, so he just knows the game, knows where the footy is, and just ready for you to make the mistake for him to pounce.
Pouncey did. 9-7-61 the Darwin Buffaloes. Tiwi Bombers 5-3-33. So all that early work almost undone. 3 goals to 2 in the favour of the Bombers, but nonetheless Darwin Buffaloes need to win this game, need to win all their games. They sit in 6th position, a couple of games behind a point, plus a bit of percentage, but I think the percentage they can't catch up, but they can in the games. Ball knocked by Carlson Cantilla. Gets it forward. Out they go wide to Thompson. Thompson sprints onto the football, has a player leading and picks him out and does it beautifully. Kim Cantilla. Kicked a goal this turn, kicked a goal in the first. Cantilla kicked the ball out of bounds on the 4. So he's done a bit of everything.
Sure has, and that was some beautiful quick work straight out that centre clearance there for the Tiwi Bombers, and we just need to see more of that for them to jump in. As Darwin Buffs look to switch this out to the far side, and they'll do so through Stokes. Stokes, a beautiful long kick out to a teammate on the far side. He's got a runner, but he ignores him, but he's just going to go, I'm just going to chip it over the top to you, Williams, and you can have that on that far side wing. So he'll look inside and he finds Sharples there. So they're playing a nice slow game out the back here. He's just looking for some movement up ahead, and he goes short to a teammate who takes a diving mark. That's been paid. And they've played on here, so he goes around and a kick around the corner, always risky into the middle of the ground, and attempted mark there and spoil by each, but Lang there ready, and it rolls straight over the boundary line. So we'll get a ball in around the halfway mark on the far side wing here. And it looks like Sketcher's going to go against Carlson Cantilla, who's just worked hard all game so far. So both of them go up. No one really wins it, but rove there by the Bombers. But in front is Darwin Buffs, so they'll take it through Williams.
It might be Kevin Moroney out there.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Kevin Moroney gets the football, kicks it forward. Goes out to Charlie Sharples. Buffalo seem to now to be trying to control the tempo of the game, don't they? They just kick forward, kick short, and they kick short, and they mucked it up. The Bombers have got to turn this into a goal. Thompson, who's been busy all game. Michael Thompson. Bombers inside their forward 50. Mark taken beautifully out wide. In they go. They had Tipu Mandamiri there, ignored him. Kim Cantilla pointing to the goals. Gee whiz, it's going to have to be a good one. He's left of centre. Tipalura, Stanley Tipalura has a goal in this term. Can he make it a brace? Tipalura very deliberately kicks right across the face of goal. Did Orville take the mark? Well, he did, but it was out of bounds on the full. And so Kevin Moroney to bring the ball back. Moroney has player short, backs to Minch. Takes it. Now will hit the ground and he'll run. Kick on the left boot. Minch goes inside in the Nicky direction. Coco Nicky's only got 3 to beat in there, and he can't beat 3. Thompson it is. Get a series of handballs. Forward they go again. In front, Mark taken. Mark dropped. Kim Cantilla taken high. Cantilla spots a teammate forward and picks him up. So they're mucking around a little bit, but Henry Keranua can kick a goal. Henry Keranua certainly well within distance. Man on the mark 30 metres out. Hasn't had much of the footy, Keranua. Right of centre. Should dob this. Left footer. Runs in, kicks on goal, and does it beautifully. Keranua on the board. The Tiwi Bombers are on the board. The Bombers march on. They keep in touch. 6-3-39 the Bombers. Darwin Buffaloes 9-7-61. We're into time on Q3.
We sure are into time on, and we've had 6 or so goals this quarter, so we'll see a little bit of extra time here. So there's still time for Tiwi to kick 1 or 2 more and make it a really exciting last quarter as to who might win, as they've got a few interchanges going on here and as the ball comes back to the centre. So the lights are on here at TIO as it's a little bit dark and gloomy for this Arvo game.
Might even rain, just for a change.
Yes, something different, some wet weather footy. So as the ball goes up here, Fitzgerald back in the ruck and Tiller in the ruck, and its balls come out, and it's in dispute at the bottom of that pack as the Tiwi Bombers, but Orville comes out with it and a swing around the corner. And 2 players running at each other and both sort of stopped to let each other grab it. But Tiwi here, first to it looks like done. And he's got a teammate in board all by himself in Cantilla. That is Brendan Cantilla, who just looked to pass it off, but he's gone, nah, I'm going to have a shot on goal myself.
Gee, Orville's been a powerhouse, hasn't he? Brock Orville.
He's been everywhere. He's been in Bombers, and under.
Yeah, Bombers best on ground by a country mile.
And the Cantilla boys keeping them alive here. So as Brendan Cantilla coming in, he's kicked 1 goal this quarter.
Oh, what a beauty.
He's kicked a beautiful second goal and the celebration goes with it. So Brendan Cantilla, second goal for this quarter here, keeping Tiwi Bombers in it. As we tick over into 3 minutes or so into time on.
I actually gave that to Roy Cantilla, but Roy Cantilla's the emergency, and he's not even on the ground, not even playing. But Brendan Cantilla has 2 goals this quarter. So the Bombers have kicked 5 goals to 2 in this third term, the premiership quarter they call it, and they've clawed their way back into this game, 7-3-45 to 9-7-61, but they've got to hurry up if they want another one, because we're into 23 minute, coming up 23 and a half minutes. Fitzgerald has been good in the ruck. Carlson Cantilla have been equally as good. Fitzgerald probably won that by a fingernail. Bombers, Darwin Buffaloes can go forward. Ball knocked out. Mensch. But the field umpire has said a free kick, and probably a warranted free kick for a high tackle.
Where's Stokes here? Why don't you look for him?
Why not? Why wouldn't you look for him? That's Ishmael Palmer. Hasn't had much of the football. Bent his head and almost ducked into a high tackle. Ball out. Mark not taken that time by Nathan Stewart. Played a fair game. On the left foot. Picked up by Antonio James. Strong on the wing. Plenty of possessions. Too far out to score. Kick and a half out. He's allowed to run around because of this stupid can't move on the mark law. It's been introduced for a couple of seasons now. Stupid in my view, perhaps not everyone else's. Ball out, a series of handballs, kicked across the face of goal. Defensively, Michael Thompson, he's everywhere. And Thompson takes the mark deep in defence for the Bombers.
Yeah, love it or hate it. I don't mind the stand on the mark rule. It's gets the game going a
so
little
long
bit
as
faster.
The field umpire's alert and calls play on immediately.
Yeah, that's the frustrating one when you're on the ground. But so Tiwi have it here in their back half, and they look long down the wing, looking for someone here, but Buff's first to it, and a knock out the back. Mensch, the quick hands over the top, but Tiwi swarming, done with the hands, and Thompson again out the back, ready to pounce on there and get it forward, and Orville ducks his head, and gets a smack across the head as he's tumbled over, and he wins himself that free kick. So he looks to play on Thompson in his way, nearly ran straight into him and cleaned him up. But he's gone inside 50 for the Tiwi Bombers. They haven't got long. They'll be looking here, but a nice push off the ball by Rhett Jordan there, but Buffs with numbers, and they'll look to slow it down and hit up a target on the far side wing.
That's their way, Darwin Buffaloes. They play tempo footy, and this time it's in slow motion tempo. But the Tiwi Bombers get the ball back. Buffaloes defence. Tim Eldridge dispossessed. Forward they go once again. Henry Keranua hasn't had a lot of the footy. Bit slow, and there it is. It's three-quarter time. Much better by the Buffaloes. They are in touch. Much better by the Tiwi Bombers. They are in touch. 7-3-45, but they still trail the Darwin Buffaloes, who didn't kick a goal in that third term. 9-7-61.
So we'll be back with you for an exciting last quarter of this round 15 clash between Tiwi Bombers and Darwin Buffaloes.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
All right, welcome back to the final quarter of this TIO NTFL Men's Premier League game between the Tiwi Bombers and the Darwin Buffaloes. And Darwin Buffaloes with a 16-point lead at the three-quarter time break, and this game could go either way. And we're underway here, and it's gone into Tiwi's forward half in the first 10 seconds, and a kick off the ground goes out, but ready at the back there is poor Jimmy, who just takes him on, and he smacks it on the outside of the left boot. Not marked there, but followed up his own work, and Darwin Buffaloes try to get it out, but not through anyone but the Tiwi Bombers onto the ball here. So the ball's just in dispute, just inside Tiwi's 50. Cantilla at the bottom of that one, looking for a ball up, and the umpire said play on. He went to blow his whistle, but play on's the call, and a quick kick out by Buffaloes looking for Williams, and it just bounces and it's held up, and we'll get a ball in inside just on this close side boundary line.
Couple of kicks out from goal, left half forward. Tiwi Bombers in attack, grandstand side at Marara Oval. Bombers kicking to the Michael Long Learning Centre end. Tossed in, boundary umpire, in front, Fitzgerald, over the back, Cantilla, probably won it, Orville. Orville kicks it, no one in particular, under pressure when he got it. Picked up that time by Damien Dunn. Dunn kicks forward, and a marked miss. It should have been taken by Stanley Tipalura. Now they're under pressure in their forward line. Buffalo defence, Thompson, who's been a revelation. Damien Dunn. Buffalo defence, got to work overtime. They are. Lachlan Hill. So me thinks they've just lifted a cog, haven't they, the Tiwi Bombers? They reduced the margin at half-time by 33 points, and they're down to 16 points at three-quarter time. If they could do that again, they probably won't win, because they'll lose by a point. They need to just increase that a little bit. But ball tossed in. Nicky Aaron in there, can't find the handle. Players have done pretty well with the conditions. They've been very, very wet. Not muddy, as you can see, but certainly wet and drying out. Bombers still in with a chance. Kick out from goal. Fitzgerald probably won the tap. Ball on the ground, over the back. He does well. Damien Dunn kicks on goal. Can he miraculously kick a goal? He can. What an absolute goal.
Tipalura loves it in the goal square as well, and they get around and celebrate, and the Bombers are real momentum swinger as well, and they get the first goal as the rain just turns on a little bit.
Begins to tumble down. That was Damien Dunn.
The youngster from the Tiwi Islands kicks, I think that's his second goal.
It is his second goal. Damien Dunn has 2. Brendan Cantilla has 2. Kim Cantilla has 2. But the man of the moment is big Daniel Stafford. He has 4, and Jared Stokes 3. So they're the multiple goal scorers in the game. 8-3, 51, 10 points down. Darwin Buffaloes 9-7-61, and they've stopped. They kicked 2 goals in that third term, and it was a big, big quarter for the Bombers.
So only 10 points down as the ball goes back up in the middle. Cantilla just jumping early and winning that tap, and a quick kick off the deck out to Thompson, who's just spilled it, but Buff's there through Hill, attacks the footy, and he's still pursuing it there with Mensch, and got support through Clark as well, but the ball's on the deck, and Thompson first there just trips over his own feet, looking to not drag it in and get paid a free kick, which he does very well, and they've managed to spill out the back and wrapped up nicely there, and the umpire says that's my ball. I'll ball it up for you boys. So he does beautifully as well, and Cantilla up high, and a quick kick out back to Cantilla as he goes inside 50. 2 one-on-ones there, everyone heading back with the flight of the footy, and the Buffs have it. They've got some run, not without some pressure though, but it's gone out and it's rolled out over the boundary line and that far side wing, so still inside Tiwi's forward half.
And that's that pressure you were talking about, Sam, because it was almost out of bounds on the full.
Sure it was. So some great forward pressure to start off by the Tiwi Bombers to get it staying in their half. The first 5 minutes here as the ball's been thrown back in. Cantilla just grabbing onto Fitzgerald, who just let go at the right time for Fitzgerald to release that handball out. But it's in the middle of the ground and they have it, and Stokes, a handball releasing Moroney there, who kicks long But you can just see two Tiwi fellas waiting for the ball inside, and sandwiched in the middle there was Stafford. But Stafford picks it up. He's got 3 inboard, and he finds one of them who's just dropped the mark, Fitzgerald, who's just a quick hands out to Yaron, and he's looking for a teammate, and it goes through hands. Stafford with a dinky little kick, not quite 15, but Williams has a flying shot on goal, and it's just gone through for a behind. So Tiwi Bombers will take possession of this footy and hope to move it down the ground swiftly. They seem to have changed their tune in this second half and are going long, and it's working for them. So I'd imagine we'd see, looks like Daniel Potts take his full measure and run this ball outside forward 50 as he does. And he's got it about 60 out to the edge of the square. Great spoil off there, and a quick hands by Henry Karanoa to get rid of it. But Darwin Buff's running that one over the line.
Tim Eldridge giving the boundary umpire another 5 metres to run and pick the ball up, as the boundary umpire does get it pretty much on the wing, although slightly favouring Buffaloes. But Buffaloes 2.5 kicks out from their goal, grandstand side. Buffaloes in this final term, kicking to the airport end at Marara Oval. 6 minutes in. Buffaloes lead by 11 points. Over the back, Cantilla. He just hasn't had a rest, has he? Neither's this bloke, Brock Orville. He's been sensational for the Tiwi Bombers. Kicked a clever kick off the ground, chip kick off the ground. That time it was by Shannon Rioli. Buffaloes into the middle, in the corridor. Find the handle. Goes by hand. Gets it out wide. That time, and Nathan Stewart, who's been a pretty good player. Kicks it wider again. Running after it is Nicky. Nicky, can he find the handle? He cannot quite find the handle. It's a slippery football now because the rain is just enough to wet the footy. I think it's stopped, but it was enough to wet the footy, and the ball is out of bounds. Again, slightly in favour of the Darwin Buffaloes, but still 2.5 kicks out from their goal. On the outer at Marara. Fitzgerald in front. It might be Sketcher. Darwin goes, Buffaloes go forward. Over the back, Moroney. Bombers, Tim Cantilla. Cantilla gets it, looking for teammate out there. Big man, Tipalura. That was Stanley Tipalura, number 22, but Buffaloes can clear. They do. I thought that was a player that went over. It wasn't a player. That might be deemed deliberately out of bounds. Not, certainly not, by the field umpire.
Crowd loved that stack by the water runner right in the middle of the play, just trying to get out of the way, and he stacked it.
He did indeed. We shouldn't laugh at him. Now the Bombers, they've surged forward. They've got to keep going. They trail by 11 points. 7 coming up 8 minutes into the final term. Buffaloes need the win to keep in touch with Pint in the premiership or the top 5 race. And the Bombers need to win the game, of course, to keep themselves in with a chance. Moroney, dispossessed. Darwin Buffalo, dragged off the footy. Picked up that time, Port Jimmy. Port Jimmy centres the football. Half volley, didn't take the mark. Ball out. Kicked hurriedly outside defensive 50, and a terrific effort there. A fantastic effort there. Is that Rhett Jordan? It is Rhett Jordan. Played a good game. Jordan, it might have been touched off the boot, or is it 50-metre penalty? Because he... That's that 50-metre penalty when the bloke on the mark actually did move, and perhaps wasn't a quick enough call by the field umpire, and that's the one that worries me.
Yeah, they're the frustrating ones as a player as well, when you've seen them run off their line and they haven't put play on.
The instinct is to run. Bradley Stokes, I don't think it was he that infringed, but certainly Rhett Jordan can put his team within a goal.
And it kicks it.
And he does. Rhett Jordan has the goal. That's his first for the game. But more importantly, his team is within 5 points. 9-3-57, Tiwi Bombers. Darwin Buffaloes, 9-8-62.
Yeah, and I just think Nicky Aaron, he just pulled up a bit sore after that contest out here in front of us on the wing. So he stayed out on the ground, but he was down for a good minute or so, and he's just snuck into their back line.
Because played on Wednesday night for the rep team, Yaron.
Yeah, so... he's in their forward line, and I'm sure he'll be their spark still, but just might be a bit sore around the contest.
Sketcher v Cantilla. Carlson.
So the ball's gone up here. Cantilla, nice tap over the top, looking for his family member, another Cantilla, but Orville gets that ball off the deck, and a quick hands, and Tiwi inside forward 50, but Buffalo's there. They can't quite hold that mark. Stokes in there trying to pick it up, but stopped by Tiwi, and if umpires blown their whistle, which way is it going to go?
Bradley Stokes taken high as he tried to defend that footy.
So he's kicked it out. They're using the corridor again. Over the top, Orville, beautiful intercept mark, and he's smart enough to hold it and hold it up right in the centre of the ground, and he looks for a teammate. Not a great kick off the boot, but out there is Tipalora pursuing it, and pursuing him is Stewart, who dives on it and forces that ball out, and a great smart footy by Stewart. So we'll get a ball up right on Tiwi's forward 50, and we've got about 10 minutes left or so of this game, and as said before, they're within a goal. Goals reached, and they haven't taken the lead since about 10 minutes into the first quarter. So as the ball comes up, a great smack off there, down to a teammate in Orville, who just kicks it out, and that pressure by Darwin Buffalo is forcing themselves a free kick out in the full.
Out on the full it is, so Darwin Buffaloes will take the free kick deep in their defensive area. Fetches his own footy. Goes short. Tempo footy. Charlie Sharples, inside defensive 50. Has another player short. Takes the mark. That might be Mensch. Mensch goes onto the left foot. Mensch kicks it forward. Cantilla tries to get in front. Does it. Sold the dummy. Play on called the umpire. Correct call. Picked out by Rioli. And that's that time Nick Yarran. Nick Yarran didn't look in trouble there. Running hard after the football is Tanner Blakely Nota. Playing deep in defence. Out of bounds. So it's out of bounds under the centre wing. And it is Darwin Buffaloes leading by 5 points.
Yeah, so back in dispute as the ball comes in. It's a great throw, and again, no one really won that tap. Both teams throwing their bodies at it, but a quick hands out the back. Head over the footy. There is Jordan. He's been pursued by 3 Buffaloes players, and the strength holds out enough just for the umpire to call that my ball. So we're balling it up inside Buff's forward half now, but a clean, beautiful pick up there, and a snap on the around the corner, goes deep in. Can't quite take possession, and ripping through is Stafford, who's got a handball to a teammate inboard. He's released, just banged it on the boot, but Tiwi have someone back on the line who's just knocked it straight back in. And Lang takes a mark in their defensive 50. He's looking for teammates on the wing, and he finds him. There's Cantilla. He goes quick to another Cantilla. He takes a strong mark.
He wore that one, didn't he?
He did. He knew it was coming too, so...
And didn't squib out either. He was very, very courageous. Well done.
So Cantilla plays on. He goes inboard. Set it up nice for Elridge, but he didn't quite take the mark, and Buffaloes have it right in front of us here. That's Nicky. Nicky's looking for a teammate. He's got someone in short, right on their forward 50, who takes a mark.
Too far out to score, methinks.
Far too far out, even though it's Baxter Mensch. He goes into the top of the square, using his body. Deep inside was Ishmael Palmer, and he's just still pursuing it. He's got a teammate in Hill, the first goal scorer of our game, and I think a free kick's been paid off the ball to Palmer for that throw after he got rid of it.
Yeah, he was slung after he got rid of it, and you mentioned Lachlan Hill got the goal within 24 seconds at the start of the game, so that was a long, long time ago.
Looks like we have a boundary throw in deep inside Buff's 50, so it must have gone out. So Stafford in the ruck against Cantilla. Straight onto it, and a kick straight out of a pack, but there's a 2-on-1 in the goal square. Can Tiwi work this out? It's Lang with a quick hands. Keeping it inside is Tiwi. And they'll look
clever, wasn't it?
So clever. And you get another Cantilla. So he'll just let his players drop back. Now he's looking for someone, but he plays on and he goes for a run. Wobbly kick straight into Orville, straight through his mitts. It's right in front of us here, but sliding in, taking out
Oh,
the Buffaloes player, just a bit high. But
well, it certainly was. That looks like Sketcher. Copped it high then. Buffaloes now, they've got to defend. They've got to defend grimly. But something's happened off ball behind play. And a relayed free kick, and it'll go to Darwin Buffaloes on the wing in front of the commentary position. Darwin Buffaloes, Chris Williams. He'll do something useful with the football. Experienced player. Williams goes long, which is what both teams need to do, particularly the Tiwi Bombers, because they trail by 5 points. Kick off the ground. Jared Stokes dragged off the footy. Play on called the umpire. Defence of the Tiwi Bombers has got to work hard now. Lovely pick up that time. Handball by Stafford. Stafford gets it to a teammate. Round the corner. Mark should be taken and is taken by a strong defender for the Tiwi Bombers in Darcy Lang. Lang as a teammate forward. They've got to go long. They've got to get it down. We've played 15, coming up 16 minutes. They trail by 5 points, the Tiwi Bombers. They've got to kick it long, got to get it down their end of the ground. Darwin Buffaloes happy to sit back and chip it around to play their tempo footy. Nicky has the football, the little short steps, runs hard, over the back, clever kick on goal, and missed. So that's the clear goal. Can it be a drawn game? It might have been Nick Yarron that missed that. Ball to be brought back.
So I think Rhett Jordan, so Daniel Potts will take this kick in, but Jordan's definitely, that's Blackley Nota will take that kick in, but Jordan stood up in this last quarter and really got that momentum going.
Been good all game, yeah, you're right. It's kicked outside defensive 50, well outside defensive 50. They have been listening. It is out of bounds. They've got to get it forward. They trail by a goal. They can draw this game.
Have we had any draws this season yet?
Can't remember.
Not that I can recall.
There's been a couple of very close games. Well, not as close as a draw. Darwin Buffaloes get it inside their... It's not inside their forward 50. Cantilla overruns the football. Lets Buffaloes in. Nicky, too slow. Too slow by a mile. And the defence, not a good handball. Onto the left boot. In the corridor, in the centre. Knocked forward. That time by a good player there in Nathan Stewart. No one in particular. Picked up by Dunn. Dunn goes forward, inside forward 50, pushed his opponent off. That's Tipalura. It's Stanley Tipalura playing soccer. No good. And also playing soccer that time was Kevin Moroney, and the ball is out of bounds. But for the Bombers, they need a goal. 17 coming up 18 minutes. Not long, only a couple of goals in this last term. They trail by that 6 points. Fitzgerald in front. In ruck. Against him is Rhett Jordan. Fitzgerald works it to his team's advantage. Nick Yarron picks the ball up. Out to Mensch. Mensch goes forward, looking for Collinson. Had a good first half. Had been very quiet in the second half, but he's had a lot of teammates. Quiet in the second half. Collinson will see the ball out of bounds. He'd be happy with that because his team is in front. As the clock ticks slowly toward time on in the final term. Buffaloes by 6 points, 9-9-63. Tiwi Bombers 9-3-57. Series of handballs. See the Buffaloes go forward. Out they go wide this time. Antonio James. James, long, forward, accurate. It is accurate. It's a goal. Buffaloes by 12 points.
Yeah, so I was just having a look, and that's the third goal of this quarter. First one for Buffs. It's taken them a while, but so we won't see much time on, and so crucial goal by James and a beautiful kick under some pressure running in.
It was a long goal, wasn't it? But he did it cleverly because there was no one forward of him, and so it would have been picked up by the Bombers in defence, but it just had enough on it to roll through, and that's all you need to do. Cross the line completely.
So Tiwi will need something special here. They need 2 goals for a draw with about 3 or 4 minutes left, I'd say. So we're about to restart this game. Who have we got in there? Looks like Sketcher versus Cantilla. He's been in the ruck all game, Cantilla. Sorry, that's Fitzgerald in there, and he just gets a finger on top of that. The ball's picked up, and the umpire will ball it up again.
High tackle, he's paid.
Oh.
Didn't see that because there was a pile of players, but it is a high tackle, and unfortunately it goes to James. James kicks it across, finds his teammate out there in Williams. Williams steadies the ball. I keep calling tempo footy, and that's what they're playing, tempo footy, out to Yaron. Yaron, one way. Has he been called to play on? He has been called to play on. Yaron, a little chip up, looking for Stokes. Why not? Stokes swings onto the right foot inside forward 50 and does it beautifully, and Big Daniel has 4.
Joey Collinson just there, and a great shepherd to allow Stafford that run straight at the footy and that mark there. So great work in those 1%ers.
Distance may be an issue. He's going to have to kick from about 48. Opens it up. It's open, pretty wide open for the right footer. Kicking to the airport end. Stafford, can he get 5 for a handful? Not this time he can't. In fact, I think it hit the behind post. Out of bounds on the full. So the Bombers, this might be their last chance, Sam. It is 21 minutes into the final term. They trail by 2 goals. Maybe a little too much.
So they've gone long. Yaron sits under it. No mark paid. Blackney Notter there. He's pursuing it. He's got the body. The ball's just kicked off the deck there by Tipuna Muntimuri. But Buffaloes have the numbers. Dropped mark by Moroney, but there to rove that ball is Hill. Hill's a quick handball, releases Yaron. Yaron looking for a diving mark from Williams. And Tiwi have got the back. That looks like Dunn. Dunn to Kentilla. And Williams pops up with it. Doesn't quite get a hand to that. And Stokes just rushes it over the boundary line. Happy to see it inside their forward 50 over the boundary line at this late stage in the game. A few boys with hands on hips there. They know the siren can't be far away either.
12-point lead to the Darwin Buffaloes. It's inside their forward 50. Knocked down. Picked up by Orville. Orville, who could not play a better game, I am sure. But he will probably next week. But Orville kicks the ball out of bounds into space. Now it's chasing the ball is Eldridge. Eldridge goes forward. Finds a teammate. Darwin Buffaloes playing their own game this time. And there's the man of the moment. 3 votes, 2 votes and 1 vote. I reckon he'll get all 6.
Why not? Reflects his number 6. 6 goals last week.
So he's only got 3 this week, so does that mean he's only been half as good?
Oh, it's ground balls. Wet weather, ground balls.
He's been fantastic, hasn't he? Probably too far out to score. I reckon if he kicks this, he will get the 6 votes. Jared Stokes, left of centre, opens it up beautifully, runs around his man on the mark. Then now it doesn't count, goes by hand. Darwin Buffaloes muck it up. Stokes did a little bit too much because he was probably beyond his distance, but knows, I'm sure, that his team is in control. Forward they go again. 3 defenders. Thompson pushed off the football, and the Darwin Buffaloes are going to try and work it forward, but the defence of the Bombers have lifted in the second half. They've been terrific, the Bombers, in the second half. They've probably won the second half. I haven't done the sums yet, but you've got to win the whole game, don't you, and to get the 4 points. The Bomber defence. There's the siren. It is the Darwin Buffaloes. They do keep in touch. Darwin Buffaloes 10-9-69. Tiwi Bombers 9-3-57.
Yeah, so that takes us to the end of this game. Some standouts. Orville, can't go past him for the Tiwi Bombers, and Stokes for the Darwin Buffaloes, along with their teammates. Carlson Cantilla ran all day in the ruck. He was great. Darcy Lang down back, really solid for them. The Tipalora boys up forward, Damien Dunn up forward, and a couple more for the Buffaloes. Nick Yaron, always ever so reliable. Antonio James was around the ball a fair bit. Nicky popped up here and there. Was there anyone else to add there?
Baxter Mensch, I reckon.
Baxter Mensch, our lucky last. So that takes us to the end of this TIO NTFL 2023-2024 Men's Premier League game between the Tiwi Bombers and the Darwin Buffaloes, taking the Chocolates 10 goals 9.69 to Tiwi Bombers 9 goals 3.57.
And that's it. And the Buffaloes, as I said, they keep in touch. But they've just got to hope that other teams lose or win for them. They've got to catch up some percentage because they won't get much of a percentage boost in this game. But it is the Darwin Buffaloes, 12-point winners. They led by 1 point at quarter time, 33 at half time, 16 at three-quarter time, and ran out 12-point winners over the Tiwi Bombers.
So we'll catch you next week. Stick around for the St Mary's vs Pints Men's Premier League game coming up next.